Hey everyone, it's me, your girl Icy, and today we are going to talk about the new Fang Club exclusive doll from Monster High, Scarah Screams. And first of all, her box is so reflective, so you will see my hands as long as she's in box. So hello. Um, yeah. So, and speaking of the box, let's dive right into this box. So we have this very beautiful design on the box. I'm going to slide down so that we can see it from top to bottom. And on the bottom, it says Scarah Screams. And on the sides, we can already see on front of the box that we have a wavy pattern that we can only see the half of. But as soon as I turn this box to the side, whoops, we can see that it is actually a fully completed pattern, which you only can see if you hold it at a 45 degrees angle. And as you can see, we have various screaming, wailing mouths on here, and as well some, I believe, Celtic symbols. Those are on both sides. And on the back, we are having a very beautiful double picture of Scarah. We have her one time big in the background and then once in her floating form fully on the back of the box. As well as I just in this second noticed, we have here a skelet, which we only can see because of the light that is currently reflecting. So we have this overall very sound wavy design, which you really can see if the light is shining against it. We also have more skelets on the bottom and one here. Yeah, that's the back of her box. It's really cute. And also, if we now go back down again, we have here some text. And the text reads actually a lot. I am going to read it to you. But if you don't want me to hear reading this, just skip forward or pause the video and read it for yourself. So this reads, Scarah Screams doll. The moon shines bright on this misty, symbolic night as I float through the woods like a will-o'-the-wisp, my shroud as sheer as the veil that separates the living from the dead. Such an occasion warrants a hauntingly beautiful dress, and so mine is a soft as moss and swirls with Celtic knots. Symbolic as always has been my favorite festival, a time to reflect on winter and welcome emerald spring with all the might of a banshee wail. And tonight, back in Ireland, I'll get my voice ring as loud as I want. See, I come from a family of storytellers, and one of our symbolic traditions is to stay up until the wee hours and spin stories of ghosts and fae folk. For my turn, I am bursting at the screams to share all the fun and frights that we're had this past scaremester at Monster High. And that was a lot. That really was a lot. But it's a really cool text, to be honest. And I have to say that this doll is my first ever fan club doll that I bought from the Mattel site, because last year I did not have the fan club membership I have this year. So I definitely will hopefully get a lot more fan club related dolls. Anyways, I think after I now went over this doll from the entirety of the box, I think it is now time to get her out of this box so that we can have a closer look at her, all of her details. So, give me a second. I'm going to unbox her and I see you in a second. Before I going to set up the doll onto her stand, I actually want to show you her stand. And Scarah's stand is like a new modified settle stand. She has a fairly basic doll stand base. And then she's having this settle stand, and she's having leg clips, which they don't do pretty often. I think they did it before, or the dolls that I own that also do this is the alien doll. The xenomorph has also this leg stands, and I just wanted to show you that before I set up Scarah onto her stand. Scarah also comes with this certificate of authenticity. This certifies that your Monster High Scarah Screams doll materialized through the collaborative efforts of designer and artists at Mattel, and this doll is designed by Annalise Lau. And she is here out of box. Finally, she is not easy to get out of box, though. You have like, she's on this plastic insides thingy, and you have to take out the entire insides thing to get to the back of her head to remove the little plastic tags that are on there, which is fine. But it's also very unboxing intense. So here she's unboxed, and we have to talk about her a lot. But I think the best thing that I can do is to get her closer to the camera so that we can first and foremost talk about her face and her hair, because her hair out of box is not the best one. But we are going to talk about her face first anyways. So this is Scarah's face, and Scarah is having a very, very beautiful face. She is having her usual white eyes, but they are in the on the sides. She's having this gray, shadowy extra, so that it's looking a bit more like fog, which I really love because it looks really intense and really cool in my opinion. Other than that, she is having very, very exaggerated lower and upper eyelashes. I don't know if I can show it that good because now you can kind of see it, because I don't want to ruin her bangs, because me and bangs are enemies. I somehow cannot, for the love of my life, get bangs to look good, so I won't be touching her bangs because they look pretty perfect in my opinion, besides this little split. So yeah, her makeup is a green that is very blended out. She has the green on her upper and her lower lashes and around the entire eye. She's having a very thick black eyeliner, and she is also having a very slight silver line on her. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? It's a little fly. Okay, cool. We are going to try to ignore this little fly. So she's having this little silvery line on her lower lash line, which is a cool, cute detail. Other than that, she is not having any blush or anything, but she's having this very fitting green lipstick, which is very on point with her eye makeup. So I like that. The original doll is having pink lips, but I never liked that her lips are pink when her entire look is supposed to be greenish. So I'm glad they managed to give her those green lips, which are on theme with everything, because everything is green or a simple shade of green or silver, because the next elephant in the room are obviously her earrings, and her earrings are supposed to be wailing screams. In that lighting you can see it especially good. Her earrings are on both sides this wailing faces, And I really think they look gorgeous. It is sad that you can only see those stunning details when you are really up close, because as soon as you go further away or just face her front, you just see bubbles and you think, what the fuck are those? And you only see it A, in the right light, and B, if you're like zoomed really close. Me personally, I'm sitting like a lot further away. I'm sitting away like, what, 50 centimeters, 30 centimeters? And I can make the details out, but if I look on my camera, I can see the details a lot better. And now that we covered her face, I think we have to talk about her hair. And she's having this very, very long bangs, which I love because bangs on Scarah are always good looking. Her hair, on the other hand, I have to turn around the veil for that, and I have to lift it, kind of. As you can see, her hair is not the best. It is actually pretty fucking rough. It is, I don't want to say a mess, but it really is a mess. It does not look good. If I'm going to wash her hair, if I'm going to do that, um, then I have to do it right. But because of the veil and how it's usually laid, you absolutely cannot see that her hair is a freaking mess under there. So that's a big plus point for the veil. And since I'm already talking about the veil, let's talk about the veil for real, though. I mean, why not? So this is the back of her veil. It is this very forest dark green, and on the veil are actually crows and I don't know the English name. Give me a second. I'm going to Google the name of the animal. I Googled it, and they're, I think, supposed to be ferrets. Um, I don't know the pictures right now anymore, because I cannot look them up in this second, because they are behind the scenes contents, and there is a paper where the designer described what animals are supposed to be on this veil, and I'm calling them ferrets for now. I'm pretty sure it's wrong. But there are ferrets and crows supposed to be on this veil. It also has a spider web-esque design and a very foresty design, and the foresty design starts on the edge of the veil, and the higher you go up, the more it looks like a spider web, which I really like. I also like the supposed to be shape of the veil, but it looks better from the front, obviously. So this veil is also tied together because it is two separate pieces, and they are tied together with those cute dark green ribbons. And from the front, it is creating a very interesting shape, which I'm going to have to redo a bit. Okay, so I kind of managed to get her veil back in the shape that I wanted to. And as you can see, the veil really creates a super interesting shape. And I really like that shape because it's super interesting, and it really is giving off her a even more ghostly appearance. And her veil is actually held together with a very interesting headband. As you can see here, we have more Celtic knots, and on the middle we have a screaming face skull that is having an open mouth, and the mouth, in my opinion, looks like a lock, and I think that's a really cool detail. More Celtic knots on those sides. And I know I did not explicitly mention it, that's why I'm mentioning it now. This veil is having a very interesting border, it is having this light green embroidery border, which looks really good. It's also like a bit kind of giving off a grandma vibe, but I think it's fine. It is a very tiny, tiny grandma looking detail. Also, as you can see here, reflectively the pattern. It is having this golden tone to it, the pattern. And I think that just adds to her entire color palette and gives her a little bit of sparkle. And I am always here for the sparkle because the sparkle is one of the things that I like the most of very intricate Monster High doll designs because I just love everything that sparkles. I am a little crow myself. um Anyways, next up is her dress, and that's why I zoomed onto her dress. She is wearing a little separate, over up here you can see it. She is wearing a little separate necklace, which is made out of satin, I don't fucking know. um, it is like a little ribbon, and it is an extra piece because without the piece, her neck just looks naked, and I don't like that, so we keep everything how it is. And on her dress, we can see this pattern of sound waves and wailing screams, open mouths, which go, if you go further down, you can see that it goes into two little skullets, a Celtic knots in the middle, and then on the very bottom, we have two eyes that are staring at us. I think it looks good. The yellows in her dress are on her embroidery. It is real embroidery, which is pretty cool. I don't know how well you can see it, but it is real embroidery, which we haven't seen ever on a Monster High doll. I personally am used to embroidery stuff on dolls because when I remember correctly, I have seen embroidery on some of my either Rainbow High dolls or on my LOL OMG dolls, but I'm not sure right now. But I'm pretty sure I have seen embroidery on some of my dolls. Anyways, she is not only having this dark green part of her dress, she's also having this very cute bell shaped sleeves, which are see through in, I think it is a similar color to her embroidery pattern, which looks very cute. And if we then go even further down, I think I have to zoom out a bit, we can see her stockings, which are in my opinion, the stockings have the same color as her veil, this dark green. So basically, Scarah is green on green on green in 10 different shades. The only shade that is not green are her eyes, which are white and gray. The headband, which is gray, her earrings are gray, and if we go even further down, we can see her shoes, which are also again a green, but also the fog that is on her shoes, that are her platforms, are a silver, or well, it's actually like a translucent, but it adds onto the silver sub theme color palette we have going on here. And as you can see, she is actually supposed to float. That's how she's sitting on her stand. She is actually pretty stable. Like, she is pretty stable in this stand, which I'm very grateful for because I'm moving around my dolls constantly. So I am very happy with that. I left on the rubber bands. I don't know why, because I want to show you the cool feature that we have for the first time ever. And that are convertible heels which turn into flats. Her shoes are actually clicked into those very cool foggy patterns, and you can click them out, and then she's having short shoes. I'm going to show you her shoes while they are clicked on, but I don't know, because I don't know how well I can click them out of there. So this is her fog, and as you can see, for example, right here, um, or here and up, very up here, you can see that there are in this foggy heels are screams molded in. And I think, oh, here you can see it very well. And I think it is a very interesting detail which we never had so far. She could absolutely not stand on those heels. Those heels are so tiny. Or the bottom part where you could stand on is super duper tiny. So I think her shoes are very, very cute. The green part, though, is having the same skull lock thing as her headband and has a few details like as if they were real flats. And if you give me a second, I'm going to remove the rubber bands, and from at least one or maybe two shoes, I don't know which one will look better. Give me a second, then we can see the converted look. Okay, so I removed the plastics, and this is her shoe without the doll herself, so that we can see the details again a bit more. I tried to get the shoe out of here, but it is really stuck in there, and you really have to pull actually very hard. Yeah, I'm going to do that off camera because the shoe, there is no, this is going nowhere. So the fog is really on the shoe, so you won't lose that easily. Okay, so I understood how I get this off, and you have to bend this part of the heel back, and then you can click the shoe out. Fairly simple. And if this is the shoe without, like, the shoe does not make any sense in terms of wearing it. So the shoe definitely makes more sense when she's floating around. The shoe on its own does not work as a flat, obviously. So I think if she's wearing the shoes on her own, those are shoes for floating and not for like actual doll standing on basic doll stand. And yeah, if you want to get the shoe back in there, I think you're supposed to do like this. You have to click it on the ledge over here and then just put it. Yep, it clicks right in there again. But I think we all want to see how she looks without the shadow on her shoes. Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you. It looks okay, but it looks like there's missing something, and I know I'm going to expose my setup, but this is her with the flats alone and not like having the swirls on, and it looks okay. Really, it does look okay, but yeah, it feels like there is something absolutely missing, and I totally am going to put on the little fog swirls back onto her shoes before I give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I gave Scarah back her swirls, and now it is time for my final thoughts upon this doll. And in my opinion, Scarah is very gorgeous. She is absolutely worth it to get her. She looks beautiful. Her face is just, I just love her face. Okay, for me, the face was the selling point. It was not the convertible shoes, it was not the veil, it was not the dress, it was her face. Because, and this is kind of a bit of a lore drop, I have been role playing for well over a decade now. I think it is 13 years at this point, and one of my main OC dolls is having white eyes. And that's also why my uh, channel is called Icy Rainbow Dolls, because my character is called Hero Icy. So she is having white eyes, and having owning any sort of Scarah doll was one of my collector goals, and now I own one Scarah. Of course, I would love to have her basic doll, but Scarah is like super expensive. So we cut that, but she is still very, very beautiful. I made an edit of how she could look with entirely white eyes without her gray details. I can show you this right here if you want to, or if I not forget to edit that in. Um, so the edit is not perfect, but I really can't decide if I like her with entirely white eyes or with this gray um, on her eye corners. In my opinion, the gray gives her those collector doll vibes, besides obviously her having a very, very gorgeous veil and this super interesting shape. I still have to figure out how I get this shape to look a bit better. But overall, I really love this Scarah. Her face is just, she's just gorgeous. I could look at her for hours and would not be bored at all. I actually was so hyped in the last few days to get her finally out of her box, because I need to touch a doll this gorgeous. I need to pose her, and I need to take her on the outside in the woods and take pictures of her. She is sold out though. She is sold out. Um, but if you have any chance to get her as a for a reasonable price, I know, talking about reasonable prices in this economy, um yeah, so I definitely recommend her. She is gorgeous, she's beautiful, and if you want to, you can tell me your thoughts. If you have her, if you don't have her, I'm super interested in hearing what you think about her. And if you did not get her, I would love to know the reasons, because it is always super fun talking to you, everyone, and sharing my passion and my opinion and hearing your opinions. So thank you very much for considering to liking, and thank you very much if you subscribe. And in general, I'm super happy for every single one of you who watches my videos and who gives me likes, support, comments. I'm really happy about this, because I'm basically uploading these videos to get to get an output for my yapping over the dolls and the just admiring of certain details of my dolls that I get. So yeah, that's basically it for the video. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope I see you next video. Bye.